Hello everyone, my name is Atanas and I'm housing consultant at University College of Northern Denmark. Today I'm gonna show you how to make a registration at AKU Aalborg. AKU is the municipal housing waiting list portal, which actually administrates most of the youth housing in Aalborg. Before we start, I would like to recommend you to sign up at the website as soon as you decide to study in Aalborg, as it takes some months on the waiting list until you get some accommodation offers. And so this is how the website looks like. To change the language, press on the UK flag in the right upper corner, just here, and then the website will change in English. As you can see, there are several menus for applicants, tenants, and some other information, some current news, and some new buildings coming on. And to make an application, you will need to use this shortcut, just right here. Make your application, you click on it, then another window will pop out, and then you need to click here again, and a new tab is coming out. This is how it looks like. Then you need to select a country, either Denmark or other land, and I presume you're a foreigner, so we choose other country. And then we start with the application, starting with first name, then surname, then address, and then postal code. And here there is something specifically, as the system doesn't support every zip code in every country in the world. You can just type in 0009 and it will be efficient enough as typing your national country code or city country code. Then you choose a nationality from the drop down menu, and if your nationality is not on the list, you can write an email to AKU and they will put your nationality also on the list. Let's say that the person applying is Swedish. Then you need to put birthday date. Let's make it 2nd of May 1992. And then you need to write an email. I will use one of mine. Telephone and mobile phone, it's not obligatory to fill in. Of course, if you want to receive email SMSs from AKU, you can just type in the phone number, but otherwise it's not obligatory. And then there is a section which is actually not translated in English, but AKU are improving with the time and translating most of their website. So this menu will ask you for preferred moving date, and it could be either from the 15th of the month or 1st, so either first date of the month or 15th. So if you're starting on, let's say, 1st of September, you can write 15th of August to have, in order to have at least 2 weeks in your apartment before you move in. And of course, it's also not necessary to be here exactly on this date, but it means that on this date the rental agreement starts. Otherwise, you can come on 1st of September, it's not a problem, as long as you have paid from 15th of August. So you can come any days between 15th and, let's say, 1st of September. And then the next menu will ask you when your education starts, and it always starts 1st of September and then 2016. Then the next menu is saying which date you have made the application, and next you will need to choose your current accommodation status, meaning that if you have already accommodation or you're looking for new one, So we choose the first option, have no accommodation. And yet this is actually the application for single person. If you are actually two people in a registration, you need to click on the yellow button that I showed you, and the same procedure for the next one. Let's see. We fill again same information, but for the other applicant. We choose nationality, let's say he's Czech, and again birthday, and then if the two tenants have children, they should be noted because it will change the priority of your application. But if you don't have children, you don't have to fill this form, because actually the moment you get a contract for the apartment, you'll be asked to provide information, legal information about these children. So you better don't write anything there unless you have children or you expect some baby. And then yeah, we click make application button just here, and then the system will ask you to double check everything, to ask you if everything is correct. So we choose yes if it's correct, and or no if it's not, then you correct it and you come back again to the same page. Yes, and once you click, you'll get a following message in Danish and in English. The English part starts from here, saying that they confirm the application that you just made, and you get an email with your username and password. And yes, as you can see, the email comes right away. You go to your email and then you open it. It's very important when you register to AKU to use email that you use on a daily basis, because you often get messages from them, and eventually once you get an offer for a contract, you also get the email on this email. So it's preferable to use email that you use on a daily basis. And then we open the email and it will be in Danish and in English. The English part is the second one down below, so you scroll down, and there is some really important rules that you need to read, and also your username and password. What we do is copy the username, try to copy it without any space, because otherwise it will give a mistake when you try to log in. And you go on the website and there's the login option just here. You type in the new code, you go back for the password, or if you're good with the memory, you can just memorize it and just retype it, but I would rather use copy paste. So paste it and we try to log in. Here under actually there is a menu saying that if you have forgotten your username or password, you can type in the address which you used for the registration and get a new one. In case you didn't get the email with the username and the password, I recommend you to type in your email just here on the one below and request a new one, and then the system will send you new ones. Sometimes mistakes happen, so you don't get the email right away. You can request it again from this option. And then we log in. Oh, maybe I have made a mistake in copying, because it says that the login is not existing. So copy it again. and we try it again, and this time it works. Yes, and once you get in, there will be this welcoming page saying again your name and data, saying your applicant's number, the group of application. It's something that every applicant is grouped by different groups, so the system can actually recognize who is single person, who is double registration, and yeah, many different groups according to the system. And in the yellow, just here in the second part, in the yellow, you will see that you need to state accommodation on the waiting list, meaning that your application is not actually active until you start to add some wishes in it. And these wishes could be different types of buildings and different types of rooms, so I'm gonna show you shortly how to add such kind of wishes. Here on the left side it's the menu bar. You can always change your personal information, you can reapply when the system asks you to do that, and here is the wishes. But I would suggest you to start with accommodation survey, this option, and we will click on it because it will actually show you, instead of list of different buildings, it will show you map of the city. And our campuses are in the red area just here and in the yellow area just here. The technological campus is in the yellow area and the business campus is in the red area. So I would suggest that you apply for this, maybe this dark yellow and the brown one. These are the 4 areas of the cities that are the closest to your campus. Of course the red one and the yellow ones are the closest, but all of them are applicable as they are all in the city. So for example, let's select the red one, which is the center. Here you can see actually also how they are called. So we select the red one, center. And then a list of many different buildings will come out. You can browse them all and select the ones that you prefer. First you will see only pictures and the address of the building, so you just select some random, let's select for example this one, and you click on see more details. This is how it translates. Yes, and then there is short description, unfortunately Danish, but you can always copy paste it in Google Translate and then Google will translate it for you in English. It's a short description of the building and when is it built and yeah, general information about it. You can see video even if you press here, and then some articles about it, if there is internet and if it's included in the price or not, and yeah, the distances towards different campuses. They are mostly for Aalborg University, but yeah, you can see approximate distance to center. And then down you will see this kind of graph and table where you can see several options, 1 or 2 rooms, and eventually the price of the rent. So the important part is actually, if you're single user, to use the one room apartment options, and then if you're a couple looking or 2 friends, you can select the 2 rooms. So yeah, here you'll see the prices starting from 4,000 Danish kroner per month as a rent to 4,254, and then the square meters, how big the apartment is, starting from 49 till 50, and also the number of such kind of apartments in this building. So meaning by 11 it means that there are 11 people, 11 apartments for single users in the building. 3 with 10 it means a balcony, so 3 apartments with balconies for single users, and then 103 for couples or friends, 43 with including with a balcony, and 6 penthouses. So let's select, for example, apartment for 2 with a balcony. Once you enter, you see a little more information about the apartment. The important part is just here. It says the deposit. Often in Denmark the apartments have deposit which has to be paid by the moving in date, and it's some kind of security payment which is kept until you leave the apartment, and it's something that normally covers any damages that you eventually can make on the apartment. So every landlord will ask you for such kind of deposit, and it could be called either inskuld or depositum in Danish. You can see here inskuld or depositum. The difference is that when it's written inskuld, once you have a residence permit in Denmark and you are registered in the civil register, you can apply for a loan, and this is the difference between inskuld and depositum. Depositum is something that you have to pay and you cannot apply, but for some new buildings in Aalborg you can apply for loan from the municipality, and then you can get this loan paid by the municipality. But if you get a contract of such a building, AKU will send you a detailed application form that you need to fill in and hand in to the municipality. So yeah, always pay attention of how big the depositum is, because sometimes it could be 3 to 5 rents. For the new buildings it's much higher than the old buildings. So yeah, if you are looking for something cheap, I would rather say go for a little bit older buildings and not so fancy ones, because the depositum is a little bit less. Yes, and here you see the brutto and netto area, and then you see what is included in the rent. First line, it means the rent itself, internet, and warm and water. So everything of this is included in the rent. And what I would suggest you also is to not take it as a granted, because in the end of the year there will be balance bill, which will actually provide you with information of whether these, for example, 200 or 159 that you pay every month, if you have spent more than it or less than it. So if you have spent more, you need to pay in the end of the year a little bit extra, or if you have spent less, you'll get refunded. So don't take it as a granted and turn the heating on the maximum all the year round, because you have to be conscious it's just average consumption bill, and if you consume more you'll get eventually bill for more. Yes, and then you can see a little schema of how the apartment looks like. There is a sliding door here, a room, and then another room, a kitchen and bathroom, and some photos of it. You can have a look. And then in order to add this building, if you like it, you need to click on this button just here. means add as a wish, housing wish. So we click on it, and yes, the button will disappear, it meaning that you already applied for it. And if you go on wishes for accommodation, just here, you will see that this apartment is already on your waiting list and you are 84 on the line, meaning that there is a complicated waiting list behind the system. And as I mentioned to you, participants are grouped in different kind of groups according to whether they have baby or not, whether they're single or couple or friends. So this number of 84 means that there are 84 people who applied for you for the same apartment before you. But these 84 people can actually fastly go down because they applied also for other buildings. So if they get an apartment in another building, they will eventually remove themselves from the list, so it can go fast down, or the number can actually go up, meaning that people who have made the application before you, the moment they apply for this apartment, for the same apartment that you have applied, they have higher priority because their registration is made longer than yours. So it's really important, even if you don't add on the same date the apartments you wish, it's really important to register as soon as possible. So this way you have advantage over all the others who register after you. And the moment you apply for an apartment that they already have been applying for, you get eventually lower on the list than them, even though they applied earlier. Yes, and normally below 10, the number of 10, if it's here below 10, you might get offer very soon. So you have to also have a regular look at your waiting list, and eventually, if the numbers are below 10, often you get offer very soon. So you have to be cautious and check your email regularly because you have a short deadline. So yeah, and to make it easier for AKU, I would suggest not adding more than 15-20 wishes at most, because otherwise if you add too many wishes, it will be kind of hard for AKU to send your offer fast. So try to stick to 15-20 wishes maximum. And for example, you can try to apply for maybe 50 and see on which one you're low as a number, and the ones that are higher, for example 500 on the waiting list, it kind of makes no sense to keep it. So you can remove it from this button, just here, the yellow button, Fjern. It means that it can remove the property from the waiting list. And yeah, just something else that you can have a look here. It says that we are applying on 15th of August, and if you decide to, for example, change the date to 1st of September and update it, the number will change. And as you can see, as it's a bit longer in time, it will be also a higher number. But this is only in order to kind of check how the numbers are changing within time. If you want to permanently change the date, you'll need to go to personal information, just here, and then change the date to 1st of September. Otherwise, when you come back here, if it's not changed, it will go back again to 15th of August. This is just for your information. It's not changed in the system until you do it in the personal information. Yes, and yeah, pretty much that's how the application looks like. In case you have questions, you can always address AKU, and I'll show you what is their contact. Here on the bottom of this page you can see their telephone number, of course plus 45 if you call from abroad. 45 plus 45 is the Danish code, telephone code for the country, and their email is aku@aalborg.dk. Yes, and yeah, pretty much that's it. If you have any questions, you can address it also to them. I wish you very much of luck when you apply for your first apartment abroad, and yeah, take care. Bye bye.